Presented by Listen Headlines. Latest financial news from trusted sources.
Forex Live. October 12, 1916 America New York. Japan manufacturer sentiment has hit a 6-month low, Reuters Tankan for October. The Reuters Tankan monthly poll is intended to track the quarterly Bank of Japan Tankan survey. Sentiment index for manufacturers 6 in October service index rose to -1.
New York Times Business. October 12, 1905 America New York, F.D.A. stays neutral on the need for a Moderna booster. An advisory panel is to vote later this week on whether to recommend emergency authorization of boosters for the Moderna and Johnson vaccines. The existing data does not seem to indicate that Moderna's vaccine is becoming less effective against severe disease or hospitalization.
BBC News Business. October 12, 1904 America New York, CEO secrets. No need to convince the haters you're worthy. Michelle Roberts, Executive Director of the National Basketball Players Association, shares her CEO secrets.
Forex Live. October 12, 1901 America New York. Hong Kong Stock Exchange delays morning trading session due to typhoon. HKEX says that with storm signal in effect the session is delayed. Securities, derivatives trade delayed opening.
Daily FX Market News. October 12, 1900 America New York, Australian dollar forecast. AUD, USD momentum wanes as jobs data nears. The Australian dollar's recent upside energy versus the US dollar waned overnight despite still lofty coal prices. Traders are shifting focus to this week's Australian jobs report.
Forex Live. October 12, 1855 America New York. U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen says again she believes inflation is transitory. Comments from Janet Yellen, U.S. Treasury Sec, over the new wires. Nothing new here from Yellen.
New York Times Business. October 12, 1849 America New York, F.D.A. authorizes e-cigarettes to stay on U.S. market for the first time. The agency approved 3 Vuse vaping products and said their benefits in helping smokers quit outweighed the risks of hooking use. The Vuse Solo e-cigarette is the first to be approved for market by the F.D.A., which says it helps smokers quit.
Forex Live. October 12, 1834 America New York. Fed's Barkin says price rises are being driven by shortages. Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond President Thomas Barkin. Forex Live. October 12, 1830 America New York. White House says Biden administration is embarking on aggressive move on cryptocurrency. Wall Street Journal with the crypto report. Biden administration will ramp up regulatory scrutiny further. Senior White House official Peter Harrell, Senior Director for International Economics and Competitiveness with the National Security Council. Forex Live. October 12, 1816 America New York. UBS on the iron ore price rebound, says underlying demand is still not that strong. AUD looks to the price of iron ore as a critical input. How much longer does the respite rally in iron ore last is addressed by a local press piece published Tuesday. Australian Financial Review may be gated. Forex Live. October 12, 1815 America New York. Australia's Treasurer Frydenberg. Expect a 3% or more contraction for Q3 GDP. The September quarter in Australia was beset by periods of lockdowns covering around half of the country's population. Treasurer Frydenberg flagging bad news for third quarter economic growth. Forex Live. October 12, 1812 America New York. Fed's Quarles will no longer be Vice Chair of Supervision from October 13. Randall Quarles' term as Vice Chair for Supervision expires October 13. This sounds like a stopgap measure. Quarles was nominated by previous President Trump to be a board member and Vice Chair for Supervision.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. October 12, 1801 America New York. F.D.A. authorizes tobacco-flavored Vuse e-cigarette, rejects its fruity versions. The ruling on Reynolds American's products signals the agency's approach to sweet and fruity e-cigarette flavors that are popular among teens.
Daily FX Market News. October 12, 1800 America New York. How to become a stock trader and investor. Rose Rapson story. Stock traders are often parodied as Wall Street whirling dervishes, moving from monitor to monitor, spewing expletives, buying and selling many times a day. Rose Rapson defies that stereotype.
New York Times Business. October 12. 1754 America New York, world's growth cools and the rich-poor divide widens. The International Monetary Fund says the persistence of the coronavirus and global supply chain crisis weighs on economies. A merchant hauling goods in Manila last month. Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. October 12. 1751 America New York, Boeing mandates COVID-19 vaccine for U.S. employees. Aerospace company said it will mandate vaccination for its approximately 125,000 U.S. employees by the December 8 deadline set by a presidential order requiring federal employees and contractors to receive the shots. The Library of Economics and Liberty. October 12. 1746 America New York, outtakes from my Nobel article. The editor at the Wall Street Journal cut more meat than usual from my op-ed on the Nobel Prize winners. This isn't a criticism. The journal has its constraints and the editor told me that the piece needed to be shortened to fit on the page.
Forex Live. October 12. 1745 America New York, New Zealand food price, inflation, for September plus 0.5% meter per meter, prior plus 0.3%. The F.D.A can give a transitory wiggle to the NZ dollar. More to come.
Global Economy. October 12. 1736 America New York, first FT. IMF calls for vigilance over inflation risks. Central banks urged to take early action. Evergrande bondholders miss interest payments. EU launches largest green bond.
Forex Live. October 12. 1734 America New York, New Zealand inflation data for Q3 early preview. September 2021 quarter CPI is due from NZ on the 18th of October. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand is already planning further rate hikes, in 25 BP increments according to Assistant Governor Christian Hawkesby.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. October 12. 1724 America New York, vaccine mandate fight between Texas, Biden has companies caught in middle. Some large Texas employers, including Southwest Airlines and American Airlines, say they won't follow Republican Governor Greg Abbott's order barring mandates by businesses. New York Times Business. October 12. 1721 America New York, U.S. workers quitting their jobs hit a record in August. A government report shows how the balance of power in the labor market has swung toward workers.